Guys, you are delusional if you think you're entitled to earning more money before becoming more valuable. That's not how the world works. And you can keep throwing your toys out the pram and watching these people living the life you want to live on social media. Complete time freedom, financial freedom, autonomy. And you can blame corporate world or the market or whatever excuses victims are using. Fucking anything for most of them. But you just need to understand it's directly correlated to the amount of value and your level of competence and what you can offer as it pertains to how much money you can earn. That is it. It's all value based. Now I can tell you categorically, this is a fact, this is not my opinion. If you're not in the shape of your life, you're not operating at the highest level you could be, and therefore you're not earning the type of money that you should be earning. It all starts with the physique. I'm going to loop back to that. I'm going to run you through that whole thing and why it's the physique. Even you guys that work in recruitment and sales and you're thinking, what the fuck does my physique have to do with me earning more at work? No one sees my body. I'm going to explain all that. Let me just dive into the problem, the flawed logic. You become too focused on outputs. This is true for money, this is true for women, this is true for materialism, it's true for anything. It's true for the physique side of things and the fitness goal. Like if you just focus on the outputs of something that you want to achieve and you ignore the inputs, you won't get there. The inputs are the only thing that move you closer. Inputs equal outputs. You're looking at the equation back to front. I'll focus on money first. That's the main thing that's important in my life right now. I need to get myself into a much more financially stable position. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to smash the gym. I'm just going to half-ass it for now until I've done that. And then I'm going to go all in on like personal development and all that. That is flawed logic because it's yourself, how you operate, and your skills and your confidence that drives the money into your bank account. You have to go all in on yourself in order to make more money. The world does not pay you for simply wanting more. It pays you more based on you being more valuable. And this is the law of compensation. You will be rewarded in direct proportion to the amount of value you give out to the world. Not immediately, but eventually. Won't happen overnight, but it will happen over time. This is even more reason to get to work. This is a matter of urgency, guys. Outputs are lagging indicators of inputs, positive or negative. If you're fat, you didn't get like that overnight. That was weeks and months of bad decisions, eating too much, not moving enough. Or if you're in elite level shape, didn't happen overnight. If you made $1 million, didn't happen overnight. So the things that you're working towards don't come like that. So when you want more money, we have to understand that there's inputs that we need to nail, but also this is a process that's going to take some time. And if you're constantly leaking energy through bad habits and vices and having no discipline and not being consistent enough, you're slowing the whole process down. And it's under this illusion of focusing just purely on the end result and ignoring the inputs. You have to obsess over the inputs. The only way to earn more is to become more competent. So how do we become more competent, and how does fitness and the physique tie into all of this? You need to start acting like the version of you that's making more money now. You need to act like the highest version of yourself now. Hypothetically speaking, if your salary 2x'd next month, so it's like a promotion, right? But they've doubled your monthly income, and I know this is unrealistic, but just hypothetically speaking, with that doubling of the wage came a doubling of responsibilities and stresses. Immediately, what would you be thinking about how you personally operate? There would be a certain level of anxiety of you thinking, right, shit, I'm going to have to step my fucking game up now. I'm going to have to be way more knowledgeable. I'm going to have to know my role inside out. I'm going to have to know the market. I'm going to have to be more confident. I'm going to have to communicate clearer. My routine's going to have to be dialed in. I'm going to have to turn up earlier to work. I'm going to have to be more personable. I'm going to have to take even more interest than I already do. That's where your mind would go. So in preparation for getting more money, you would change the inputs of how you operate. Flip that. That's a hypothetical, right? Your wage isn't doubling next month, But that's what you want. You want more money. So what do? You install those inputs now. And we use fitness to do this. It starts with the body. Now, this is a wider framework. I'm not going to go into depth. The framework I use to get the guys where they want to be inside the program goes like this, in short. Master the body. It's the first thing we have to do. It's the vessel in which we're experiencing life and doing everything, turning up to work, typing on the keyboard, attending the meetings, spending time with friends, family, taking you from A to B. This has to be maintained. If your health declines, you don't have a life. To neglect it is absolute fucking insanity. So we need this to be in its best possible condition. Master the mind follows that. Assessing limiting beliefs, breaking free of programming, installing a new belief system, installing a new identity that runs automatically in the subconscious mind. Master the modern world, which is now the external environment. So we've focused on the internal environment. The body is still kind of like, I would class it as internal environment. I know it's external. I know you can see it, but it's like it's you, right? So that's the internal environment. Then we need to focus on the external environment, modern world, distractions, dopamine, all that stuff we take care of. And then we have to put some time into raising consciousness and becoming aware of our unawareness, essentially, which is how we start to install everything from mastering the mind, the new belief systems, the new habits. That's a process for another video. I don't want to dilute the message of this one. We start with the body. Let's look at it overall. If your physique is absolutely fucking dialed and you look like a savage and you're lean, and you got the fucking veins popping out your forearms and you're filling t-shirts and you got the jawline popping, you would feel on top of the world. You would look at the man in the mirror and you would be like, this guy's got his shit together. And I like how it looks, right? There's nothing wrong with vanity. There really isn't anything. I mean, you can get to a level where vanity, you just become a fucking knobhead, right? We all know those people. But you should be vain. Well, think about it. You should be vain. You're telling me you would rather operate through life not liking yourself. It's ludicrous. You need to like how you look. Other people would respect you instantly. People at work, women, your friends, your family. Fucking hell, you lost weight. You've been smashing gym. You look fucking amazing. Boost your confidence. So you've taken just from this, by the way, just from how you feel about the end result of getting to the point where your physique is dialed in, you're just fucking up here. You know, you're operating on this completely new level. But the magic is in the process of getting to that point. Think about what happens as a byproduct of the process. You've now got a bulletproof routine installed. This makes you an efficient operator. It makes you highly productive. It gives you structure to your day, to your mornings. You're now structuring in free time because you're so efficient with the work block. This is how you've got to be, guys. You've got to have a routine, even for the time that's downtime. Routine is an absolute non-negotiable. This is a fast-paced world. You've got personal things you want to do. You have hobbies. You have time with loved ones. You've got work things to do. You have health and fitness boxes to tick. How are you going to get all of this done in a day without having elite level structure? You can't. That's where inconsistencies creep up and you end up falling off. So you have to have routine, and you get that as a byproduct of this process. Habits, ensuring daily growth. Habits are beneficial for two main reasons. There's 7 habits I use with the guys inside the program, and I'm actually going to put a WhatsApp link in the description of this video. And if you want the full 7, I will send you it over, and I'll just send you a voice note running through what each one means. The only one I want to touch on here is, in fact, I'll touch on 2. 2 of the 7 habits, alignment and learning. These are 2 of the FP7. Alignment, in a morning, looking at the vision board, looking at the reality design statement. How do you want life to be? What's the type of money you want to earn? What does life look like? Where do you shop? What restaurants do you eat at? Everything. Just put everything down. What's your relationship like? Your dream version of life. We have to embody that every single morning. You put yourself in that energetic state and operate like it's already true to attract it into your life. Backed up with action, but that's the thought side of manifesting. Action is the intention side. Also, then we have learning. 30 minutes minimum of learning a day. Self-improvement, direct self-improvement. It could be a skill relating to your job. It could be communication. It could be marketing. It could be sales. It could be mindset. It could be training. It could just be general self-improvement. You have to devote yourself to this. If you want more money, you need to be more valuable. So this is direct to becoming more competent, taking in new knowledge. Every single day, 30 minutes a day, minimum. I do about 60 to 90. That's how you become more valuable. Having new knowledge, acquiring a new level of skill. And like I say, that's 2 of the 7. If you want it, send me a message on WhatsApp, I'll ping it over. But the other thing that habits are doing, so you have the direct thing, learning, you're acquiring new knowledge. Alignment, putting yourself in the energetic state to attract it. The other thing you're doing with habits and following it religiously day in, day out is building trust within yourself. This is identity installing. You go from being an undisciplined person to like, right, okay, now I'm ticking the boxes every day. I've just done this again. I don't really feel loads of difference from just doing it one day. But actually, when I get 4 weeks in, 6 weeks in, 8 weeks in, 3 months in, you feel like a fucking different guy. Complete different guy. You'll only understand this when you do it. We also need to release energy and stress. We do this through training fucking hard. We have pent up energy and negative fucking emotion just from going through life. You can't avoid it. There might be a news article. There might be a headline on TV. You might hear something on the radio. Someone might say something at work that fucking winds you up a little bit. There might be something that's just generally negative in your life that's causing you stress right now. These are things that are just ingrained into the game of life. You can't escape. So we need an outlet to offset that. It doesn't fix the problem. It just helps tame the mind. And then when you come back home and you're seeing the missus or you're seeing the kids or you're turning back up to work, you've trained, you've got some energy out, hasn't solved the problem, but you feel way calmer. Back into that analytical, decision-making, logical, rational mind that allows you to perform at work. Otherwise, you're emotionally reactive. So that's one thing that training does. Now, obviously, guys, training and nutrition are the things that drive the physique, of course. So that's not just why we train. We're training to fucking get peeled and look sick, look like a movie star. But that's what's happening as a byproduct from the process that's going to earn us more money. Releasing energy, releasing stress, putting us back into a positive mindset to work, to manage everything that we're doing in life. We also need to gain clarity and remove brain fog in order to be efficient and productive at work. Training, again, is one. Structured cardio is another. Structured cardio is absolutely fucking slept on. When you get deep into your mind and into like a meditative state, when you're doing long form cardio or you're doing high intensity interval training, there's nothing else you're thinking about. It's a complete clearing of the mind. And when you come back, when you've had runner's high, because everyone's experienced it, right? Or maybe you haven't done running directly. Let's say you played 5-a-side and you just feel fucking good from getting your heart rate up, getting a sweat on. You just feel clear. That's what cardio is really important for, not just for health and not just for the physique, but also for that. It's very important in that. Nutrition, whole foods, removing processed shit, hydrating properly. All of these things help us maintain clarity, removing brain fog. The end result of physique getting dialed in, way more confident, respect from others. But as a byproduct of getting to that point, we've been the most effective employee or business owner you could possibly be in that process. You're more competent. You're more valuable to the company or to the market. Now, I could go on for fucking ever about many secondary benefits here, like creativeness, tapping into your intuition, coming up with new ideas, where to take the business next, where to take your career next, thinking about a work project. All of this stuff relies on you putting yourself in the correct or optimal state physically and mentally to attract these ideas. Because ideas, guys, don't come from you. You tap into ideas from consciousness. They just exist. You find them, right? They don't come from within. You tap into them. You ever had a really good idea about anything in your life that's just come to you at the most random point? Maybe you're just out walking with a mate. Maybe you're at a dinner. Maybe you're distracted with something else and then you just get an idea about something completely unrelated in your life. That's just universal intelligence. That's consciousness. This is where ideas come from, right? And this is why the fourth thing that I mentioned in the whole framework of raising your consciousness is so important, because we have to be connected to that. And there's a way to do it. It's just becoming more aware, becoming more in tune with ourselves. But we need that, right? If you want to be more competent, if you want to come up with the best ideas and be creative, you need that connection established to be constantly just fucking innovating and coming up with new things. It's the same with me with content creation. Where am I taking the business next? What videos am I making this week? I need that stillness, removing the brain fog and gaining the clarity from the training, cardio, the whole foods with nutrition. Then we've got other stuff in the program as well with like journaling, reflecting, that really embeds that that stillness and connection, within us, and it just gets you firing on all cylinders. Now, let me give you an actual example, or I'll give you two, of why this process is so effective. So one of my tier 2 guys, when he signed up, he just launched a business, an online business. He won't mind me sharing this, actually. I won't mention many details. He works in accounting and finance, and he's worked for some big companies, doing some big roles, managing big numbers and earning very big numbers as well. But then he's gone and set up his own online business, completely out of his depth, didn't really know anything about it. It was the time he set up with me on tier 2, and I basically just ran him through this whole process. I was like, mate, that industry is your realm. That's not my realm. You're an expert in that, but I'm going to tell you exactly how we're going to get the most out of it. Now, I can't share the numbers, but 6 months down the line, he's making way more money than he even projected for 18 months down the line. This is a guy that forecasts for a living, right? Financial forecasts. Because he's dialed in this process. I got another guy as well that's killing it in actually an accountancy 9 to 5, and then went to look at like high ticket sales closing and like doing that as a course on the side to eventually one day build more autonomy and find something that, a job that he can earn more money from, but also work abroad and just have that freedom. And he'll do it. He's a very driven guy and he's switched on. Same thing, constantly bringing him back to the process. He's very ambitious and he falls into the trap that I've mentioned in this, where it's like so focused on the output, the inputs sometimes get neglected. Like, mate, come on, back into this. The reason why you're not feeling at your peak right now is because you're not nailing the foundations. You're not nailing the process. Once he does that, flying, landed a sales job. He's killing it. And that's what you need, guys. You need value. You need competency. You need to be an efficient operator all round. You will only be rewarded for the amount of value you can give to the world. Not immediately, but eventually. So you need to start now. The physique takes time to build, but then there's a lag on the other end of that as well. It's a matter of urgency, guys. Provide more value and you will earn more money.